off the G5 jet. I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
All right, how's everybody doing? eSIMstudios, a YouTube channel live stream coming to you live and direct on a Saturday night. Thought I'd give everybody a break from the world news, right? The whole U.S., Iran, Israel thing going on. I've been glued to the news like everybody else all day while I work. So just thought I would talk about technology and get everybody's minds off of that, at least for a few minutes, right? Seems like it's been dominated. Well, it should. It's a big deal. But what's going on? Appreciate you joining me. How's it going today? How you doing? So we have, there's a, I guess it's not surprising. We have some S26 series information. Apparently there is a double your storage deal. I found it on 2 different platforms. And then there is some Pixel 11 news. Not surprising. But there is yeah, I know that's weird, right? I know last time when we did our giveaway, I was like, nobody entered for the giveaway. And I look on my StreamYard, I don't see any comments. I look at my phone and I see some comments, and they've been jacked up on other channels too. So I don't know. Hopefully my stream is coming through all right. So I'm gonna pull up. Let me make sure. I'm gonna pull up. Yeah, it appears to be okay. Let's see here. All messages. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. So let me pull up some news here. We have Samsung, obviously. We have Snapdragon CPU stuff to talk about, and then Pixel 11. It's not going to be a long live stream. Got to go pick up some food here in a minute. So how's it going, Bradley? Hope you're doing all right. If you just joined, I thought I would go live just for a few minutes to give, maybe it's more for myself. Give me a break from all the news, all the stuff that's going on in the world. It's crazy stuff. But and I'm not going to discuss that here. It's not what this channel is about. But let me do this. So if you pre-ordered an S26 series, you know that the Samsung, on the Samsung website, they did away with double your storage, at least on the Samsung website. And then after a few news articles that I've seen come through, it appears if you upgrade through a couple different outlets, there is double your storage enabled. Now, there's a catch with those as well, but just to let you know, if you pre-order the S26 series at Best Buy and or Amazon, they have double your storage. Now, I think the models are limited, meaning I don't think every model in every color is available. Obviously, the Samsung exclusive colors are not available, but what I mean is on some platforms, and also double your storage at, I believe, Spectrum, double your storage on Google Fi, double your storage, I think, at T-Mobile. It seems like a lot of different outlets are doing double your storage. It seems like the only ones that's not is Samsung, which is weird. But if you do double your storage, like I was on Spectrum's website earlier, I was on Google Fi's website earlier, it's only available in like the purple or black, right? So I don't know, maybe they have a whole bunch of units in the purple and the black, and they're just trying to move those units with double your storage. I don't know. Depends on what carrier you're using. Check with your carrier. My point is, typically Samsung is where I always get my devices, but this year's a little weird. This year's a little different. It seems like you can get potentially double your storage at some other places. However, as I mentioned, the colors might not be available. One thing you also have to take in consideration is your trade-in device. If you're doing a trade-in, now with T-Mobile, I think they're giving you $1,300 off, and you can trade in any device in any condition. Depends on what plan you have. But you know, some doesn't matter what trade-in you have. You can go get a POS device on eBay, pay $68 for it, and use that as your trade-in, right? So Google Fi, I think, has one of the better deals I think I've ever seen. Let me pull that up, and they're actually, shame on me, they're actually a sponsor of the eSIMstudios YouTube channel. I guess that means I should be promoting their stuff here. Let me give you a discount code that'll get you $60 off. Is it 60 or 50? Your first month or second month? Hang on. Let me see here. Let me pull it up. They have double your storage. I think Google Fi has one of the better deals. You don't even have to trade in a device on Google Fi. You can essentially get the S26 Ultra. You can get double your storage, and it's essentially you get like 1,000. Let's find out. I don't want to misspeak. And then we'll get into some Snapdragon news. We'll get into some Pixel 11 news. Now, where did my browser go? Here it is. Let's see here. Let me pull up this email. Shame on me. I should have had this. Should have had this ready. Let's see. Da 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 da. Got me having me to sign in. Let's see here. Yeah. Security key. Oh, I got all my stuff locked down, and it is a pain in the ass to sign into stuff. Sorry for the interruption. Come on. All right, so let's see here. Where are my... So you can get... And I have a discount code for y'all if you're interested in the S26 Ultra. So we got... So here's what they got. Retail price $13.99. Double your storage. And why am I having a hard time finding? I'm looking like a complete dope. Okay. So here's the deal. So earn $60. You get $60 off your second month, or if your plan is less than $60, it'll total out $60 over however many months that you have the plan, right? That is the referral code for CKNFYF. And let me tell you how much. I think it was mad cheap for the S26 Ultra. Let's go to Samsung. So here's the deal. Let me share my screen. Why am I having such a hard time? I look like an idiot. Let's see here. Share screen. Window. Okay, here we go. So, here's the Google Fi deal. S26 Ultra, $300 off now, plus $600 back over 24-month credit. So up to $900 back in total savings, and that's without even trading in a device. And you get double your storage. That's a pretty good deal. I think it comes out to like a few bucks a month on top of whatever plan you choose. Now, if you use our referral code that I put there in the chat, I get you an additional $60 off your plans, your monthly plan. So pretty good deal there. And as I mentioned, T-Mobile's got a deal. Spectrum has a deal. I have not checked Verizon, have not checked AT&T. I'm sure they have some pretty sweet deals, potentially doubling your storage, although Samsung is not. So take it for what you will. Of course, you will have to stick with them. Although I think Google Fi, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Google Fi, they come unlocked. I believe so. So that might be, you could get a S26 Ultra with Google Fi, pay a couple dollars a month for it, and you could essentially use your T-Mobile SIM in there. I think. May want to check the fine print. In fact, please check the fine print. Don't take my word for it. I'm just shooting from the hip. So, we're gonna get into the S26 Plus because it seems like these Exynos processors, the Exynos 26, I think they fixed the overheating issues. It looks very, very promising. There was an article that tested with a temperature gun on the back. They run Genshin Impact, the game, very graphic intensive game. Ran it on full 120 frames per sec, full brightness, everything, and it did not even get hot. And it performs just as well as the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. So it looks like, now I would like to get my hands on one. I don't think I'm going to get my hands on a regular or a Plus, at anytime soon, but sometime between now and this time next year, meaning essentially maybe in 6 or 7 months, the prices will come down on used ones. I'm going to try and get one just to test that processor out because it looks really cool. Another new piece of information that we got on the S26 series, and this goes for all of them, base model, plus model, ultra, they threw in a second NFC antenna. I thought, I've typically, with every Android phone that I'm aware of, just has one NFC antenna. It's usually somewhere around the top of the phone. This year, they put two NFC antennas, both on the top of the phone, on the back side, on either side. I'm assuming just to make it easier to make mobile payments at the store. I really don't know the reason for that. That's the only thing I can think of. But you know how sometimes, have you ever been in a store, try to make a mobile payment, and you sit there for like 30 seconds trying to like fine tune exactly where your phone needs to be on the little payment deal right there, where you put your card in it, but it takes mobile payments as well. I was in the store, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. Man, I could not find it. The people behind me were like, come on. And I was like, I don't know. It's not working. So I think it helps out with that stuff. Never seen that before. Not a big deal, not a huge improvement, but little stuff like that. I didn't get to this last time. I think this S26 series and or S26 Ultra is really for sure, they would love for people that have the S25 Ultra to upgrade. They want everybody to upgrade, but I think Samsung knows that there's going to be a decent amount of people that have the S25 Ultra that are not going to upgrade. And I think you're okay with that, because I think this phone is geared towards people that have the S21 Ultra, S22 Ultra. I even saw some people online that had the Note 20 Ultra that were holding on to that phone for years. But guess and they finally upgraded. Now it stopped receiving updates in the past year, and that's probably why they upgraded. But I think this phone is really geared towards, in Samsung's mind, is geared towards trying to get the other people to upgrade to a Samsung. And again, I think they know there will be a decent amount of S25 Ultra users that aren't going to upgrade. And I think they're okay with that. As long as they get people using Samsung products, using the ecosystem. If you buy a phone, you're more likely to buy the earbuds. You're more likely to buy a watch. You're more likely to use Samsung services. You're more likely to stay in the ecosystem. And I think that's the overall goal for Samsung, right? You are too? Yeah, if I didn't have, well, my battery. See, here's the thing. With mine, that's in the beta program, that's got the really bad battery life. If I was keeping mine, and I think if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I don't believe I would upgrade, but I would definitely get out of the beta program, factory reset my S25 Ultra, probably be okay after that. But the reason why I've just kind of given up is because I know I'm going to be upgrading, so I'm like, well, I only have like, not that long, so I haven't really investigated it. But if I was keeping it, I would definitely get out of the beta program and factory reset it, and it's probably okay, because it's really bad. But I don't know what color's the most popular. It'll be interesting to see the numbers on this device. I don't think they're going to sell as many as the S25 Ultra. The S25 Ultra outsold the S24 Ultra, and the S24 Ultra outsold the S23. So they've been on this steady incline of sales. I think this year is the first year you're going to see the sales kind of plateau and or dip a little bit, quite honestly. But it all depends on how many people that have an older phone upgrade, right? Let's see here. Any new news? Because we have Pixel 11 stuff that I'm going to get into. Oh, did they send y'all your discount? Samsung still has not sent me my discount. My $30 discount I signed up with. I don't know what's going on. It's nowhere to be found. So I don't know if that's normal or not, but I'm like, well, what happened to my discount? So let's see here. So there's a number of articles. T-Mobile's offering the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra on us with no trade-in or port-in required. No kidding. Well, that's even better than what I saw. Huh. Interesting. Well, we're gonna get ours in this week and test it out. So let me show you what we got for the Pixel 11, because it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good. Now, I think they're in early development, right? Have y'all seen this? The Google is once again expected to disappoint with the Pixel 11. Check this out. Again. Now, I wasn't expecting Google to like blow us away with the CPU. We kind of know what it is at this point, 6 years into Tensor. Well, technically 5 years into the Tensor segment, and we have yet to have our socks blown off, right? So it's kind of like, well, not really surprised, but we thought we were going to see at least some improvement in with the Tensor G5, because they moved to the TSMC manufactured CPU, moving away from Samsung Exynos based CPUs. Well, it looks like the Pixel 11 with the Tensor G6 CPU saw an early listing on Geekbench. So somebody ran a Pixel 11 prototype with the new Tensor G6 in it. And we have the test results. And let me tell you, nothing to brag about. In fact, I think there's something up with this, and let me know what your opinion is, because wait till you see these scores. And something very, very weird with this one. Now, this is based on a 2 nanometer node, just like with the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 that's in the S26 Ultra. Now that's on a 3 nanometer node. This new Tensor G6 is going to be on a 2 nanometer node, meaning it should be more powerful and more efficient. Now, there is a slight change in how this is constructed, because from the listing on Geekbench, it shows that this CPU is a 7-core CPU in this Geekbench 6 listing. Which, and look, it is early, so stuff can change. I'll just put it out there, right? I wouldn't take this. I mean, look, this is proof they ran it on Geekbench, but I'm just saying what you're seeing right now might not be the final results, meaning it's a 7-core. No, they've run 8-core and 10-core in the past. So going down a core or 2 or 3 is like, what's going on? There's a theory that the author of this article put out, and it could be true, where Google will run a 7-core CPU G6 in the base Pixel 11, and then run an 8-core CPU in the Pixel 11 Pro, Pixel 11 Pro XL, Pixel 11 Pro Fold. See what I'm saying? Kind of like what Samsung did with the S26, in that they had a Snapdragon 8 Elite in the Galaxy S26 series, but for the S26 Edge, they did a 7-core Snapdragon 8 Elite, while all the other S26 models were 8-core. You see what I'm saying? So that could be true too. They could be, and it's probably a little cheaper to manufacture and or produce, and the base Pixel 11 and or Pixel 10 is slightly cheaper than its older, well, not older, but bigger brothers, right? The other devices. So that could be true. Or they really are running with a 7-core CPU, and it is what it is. So let's look at these numbers, because it might shock you. It might shock you a lot. Wow, that's low. Like, that's what I'm saying. I saw these numbers and I was like, obviously they're testing it. Maybe it's the very first prototype and they're just seeing if it'll work, right? They're just turning it on. They loaded an operating system onto it, and it's very, although look at these clock speeds. That's the other thing that doesn't make sense. I'm like, maybe it's the very first prototype with this new CPU, and they threw it in a Pixel 11, threw an operating system on it, and they said, hey, let's see what it'll do, right? Well, look at these clock scores, because you have a base frequency of 2.65 gigahertz. Can y'all see that? Do I need to enlarge it? Maybe it's hard to see. Well, maybe I might have made it harder to see. Maybe it's, I don't know. I'll tell you what it is. So you have 2 cores running at 2.65 gigahertz. You got 4 cores running at 3.38 gigahertz. And you have 1 core running at 4.11 gigahertz. So it's not like they were just on idle, right? It's not like they were just kind of had it super underclocked, because when I first saw those scores, I was like, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe it was just severely underclocked and they were just saying what it would do. But then I saw those numbers and I was like, that's cranking it up. Like, those scores really don't reflect the the frequencies, so I don't know what's going on, but if history can tell us anything, it'll tell us that it'll probably underwhelm us. And for what it looks like, Google will probably implement again the 200 charging cycle decrease. And again, I know benchmarks aren't everything, but they are something, right? I mean, they should be at this point. I think even the Pixel lovers and the people that defend Pixel devices until the end of time, I think even they will say where we're at right now with the Pixel 10 and the performance, still not, probably would have expected higher scores, better performing devices, right? May not be Snapdragon level or Apple level, but the Pixel 9 is still outperforming the Pixel 10. So, I don't know. Are you interested in the Clicks communicator? I've seen, yeah, that's really cool. The 8300. I'm happy they're going with MediaTek. I wish more companies would go with MediaTek. Are y'all interested in that? Because I have zero interest in these new, what is it, the Clicks communicator and the other one that has that physical keyboard. It's like the old school BlackBerry, right? I don't know. I don't have much interest, to be honest with you. I mean, but if you want to kind of decrease your dependency on a regular smartphone, that may be the way to go. Still runs Android, still has full apps, so it's kind of like, whatever. I know there's a lot of people that love physical keyboards. I'm just not one of them. I've kind of moved on a long time ago, right? Let's see here. With the Pixel 11, you're gonna see, I believe the same style, and that's okay for maybe one more year, right? Yes, the Titan, Unihertz Titan. That's what I was trying to think of. I've seen a couple of reviews and they look cool. Easier to type, right? Oh, I guess that could be debated. But look, I get it. Some people like that phone and it's not for everybody, but I get why people like it, right? I get why people would use it. So, interesting to see two companies making the people that have them on YouTube absolutely love them, right? I mean, the ones that I've seen the reviews, they absolutely love them. So definitely has its own little fan base out there. And look, more power. I hope they succeed. I certainly hope they sell a ton of them, and the more the merrier out here when it comes to Android and mobile technology. The more the better, right? Even though it's not for me per se, it's good for the industry. It's good for people to have as many choices as possible, because the Android world, as we know, living here, most of us know in the US, we don't have access to all Android phones, right? I mean, technically you can go buy an Oppo. Well, but what happens if you break the screen? Where do you send it, right? Like, where the hell do you send it? You don't have a top tier Pixel, and you got a Pixel 9a and you love it. I don't know why, but it runs so smooth. I know. And see, I get called out all the time for looking at these benchmark scores. And look, I get it. I have had the 9a. I don't think I had the 8a. I have had every Pixel. I'm a very big Pixel supporter. I just call it like I see it. I love Pixel. It's a very smooth operating system. I'll always have a Pixel. It irks me that they're so far behind in the performance category. It's kind of, it's not embarrassing, but it's like, but they are smooth, right? I mean, hey, my whole family, I get them Pixels. When my dad needs a new phone, I got him a 9A. When my grandpa needed a new phone, my grandparents, I just get them a Pixel. I got them a Pixel 7a and a Pixel 8a. It's like they're great phones. They're very dependable. So I'm not a hater by any means, but they're very good devices. Very good. Nothing for a Pro. Are they coming out with a Pro? Because I'm starting to wonder They haven't leaked, or have they? Typically, they'll leak something out with the pros. Although I have seen a couple publications say pricing estimates for the 4A and the 4A Pro. Yeah, they're great phones. In fact, I'm gonna get me another Pixel 9 series, because I can use it with a SIM card. That's a big deal. All right, I don't know, we're eSIMstudios over here, but to be honest with you, it's easier to use a SIM card, right? Just throw it in another phone. You don't have to download new eSIMs and all this stuff. I'm very excited to see the 4A Pro. I'm glad to see nothing put the periscope sensor in the regular A series, because remember with the 3A Pro, that was the only A series that had that periscope lens, and the regular 3A did not. I'm happy to see they're going to put the periscope lens in the regular A series, the 4A this year. Very excited to see that. I think that may be, if not the phone of the year, it's going to be the best phone to get for the price, meaning what you get, the total package for the least amount of money. Even though they've increased the price slightly, I love the way they look, and they're going to come out with a lot of colors. We've all seen the white one. We've all seen that pink 4A. They're going to come out with like 3 or 4 more colors. Like you're going to see a blue, a black, a silver. You got that pink one, a white one. It's going to be great. And that's coming up soon too, here in about a week or so. You think they're going to eliminate eSIM cards or phones soon? I still like the fact that you can transfer your eSIM card to different phones. Yeah. You know what they're going to do eventually? Eventually, every mobile device that gets a carrier data and or carrier services, they'll all be eSIM. Right? All of them. Now, that may be 10 years from now, 12 years from now. And slowly you'll see Samsung eventually go to eSIM. Maybe 3 or 4 years from now, but they're going to do it, right? It's going to be phased out. In fact, there's already a technology that's they're working on and patented now called an eSIM, an integrated SIM card. eSIM, electronic SIM card. eSIM is the next generation of eSIM. So there's something even they're planning on for stuff way in the future already. So yeah, everything's going to be eSIM here. I don't know. My guess, I bet 5 years. I bet you'll see Apple's already made the plunge. Google's made the plunge. So you have OnePlus left. You have Xiaomi left. Oppo, nothing. It's Samsung. You'll slowly see in every couple of years, a company is going to say, we're going eSIM only. We're going eSIM only. It's going to suck. But it's, but you know, that's just how technology works. We're all going to be missing the days of the physical SIM card. And of course, they'll still work, like as long as the devices are being updated. Now, the carriers may slowly phase out SIM cards as well, right? Like T-Mobile. They may not issue physical SIM cards in 10 years. It's going to be eSIM only. Now, the one thing, what these companies can do to make it easier on users like us is to make the transfer process easier. I know it's gotten better. It has gotten better over the last just 18 months. But the transfer, it needs to be easier. From iPhone to iPhone, very easy. But from iPhone to Android, or vice versa, Android to iPhone, or from Android to Android, it needs to get better. And I think they will, right? I think that just comes with progress. Right? Stuff will get better. Stuff will get easier. They know it's a pain in the ass, so they're working on technology and code in the operating system to make it easier to switch, right? And I think the carriers like T-Mobile, you know how if you get an eSIM now, they say, oh, check your email. I sent the QR code, the eSIM QR code to your email. I think in the future, they'll just shoot it to your phone, right? Because they have your IMEI number. or if you tell them the IMEI number, I think they'll just be able to shoot it to your phone, because it sucks having to have another phone or a laptop or a computer to get your access or email on to scan it. Because what if all you have is your phone? What if you're out in the middle of, well, not nowhere, but what if you're out in the town, whatever happens, you have to buy a new phone on the spot? Oh crap, all I got is eSIM. Let me call T-Mobile. They say, hey, well, we're going to email you the QR code for you to scan for your eSIM. I'm like, well, I don't have another device. I don't have a laptop. I don't have another phone. So stuff like that just needs to be ironed out. And I think in the future, it'll be a lot easier. Because, yeah, it's easy, right? I change phones all the time. And I just pop a SIM in, pop a SIM out, pop a SIM in, and you go. So, yes, the design is freaking badass. I absolutely it's very similar to last year's 3A, but whatever they did to it looks awesome. And I think the square glyphs look phenomenal. I like it better than the bars. I caught a lot of flack on Reddit over the last couple of days. I commented that I like the glyph squares better than the bars like on the 3A. But I think it's you can customize it more. And I know they're going to bake that into the operating system. You can do timers, you can do custom ringtones, light up glyph tones, all that stuff. I really, really like it. I'm going to try to grab me one. I hope, I pray that they take the beta program out, or they take the US market out of the beta program, give us a full-fledged regular sale of the 4A series, and please, please, please make it work on AT&T and Verizon and fully on T-Mobile. I've never had a nothing phone have problems on T-Mobile. It's always AT&T. It's always Verizon that gives trouble for whatever reason. If you're a big nothing fan and you've had the nothing phones, or at least one of them, you know what I mean. T-Mobile, no issues at all. It's AT&T, it's Verizon that you have issues with. Let's see here. Yeah. So I'm probably going to get out of here. I've been on live for what, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, about 45 minutes. I appreciate the time. Let's see here. I wanted to, I don't know if we have time for this, but testing for the 8th Gen Elite, excuse me, testing for the Snapdragon 8 Gen 6 Pro potentially draws 30 watts. 30 watts. Holy crap. That is insane. Maybe we'll get to that later, but I'm not sure if you saw that. 30 watts, which is not a lot for a laptop and or a desktop, which can do 45 watts, 90 watts if you're really pushing it. But for a mobile device, 30 watts, that's insane. Like, that's a lot of power. Your battery would not last. It would be like my S25 Ultra battery life. If your CPU was sucking or drawing 30 watts of power, holy crap, that's a lot. But, yeah, no. Let me get out of here. I do appreciate the time. All right. For sure. Thank you. I rarely get super chats. So to just say, I think the last one was like a year ago. So I don't ask anything for y'all. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm always doing giveaways and stuff, but that's for y'all. So I do appreciate it when somebody gives to me. So thank you very much. You're very welcome. Very, very welcome. All right, y'all. I appreciate the time. I will see you tomorrow. I do have more case reviews for... I ordered some cases, a bunch of cases for the OnePlus 15, or at least the ones that I did not review, that I did not get to with my first OnePlus 15. And then we got more cases, a lot of cases for the S26 Ultra. So we will be reviewing a lot of those, and I even ordered a few cases for the iPhone 17 Pro while I was at it. So stay tuned. And it reminds me, giveaways. I mentioned on the last video that I think I'm going to try to schedule our very first giveaway What month is it? Probably next month. We'll schedule it and then we'll run it. I'll promote it for a couple weeks and then do a giveaway. I think I'm gonna give away a CMF Phone 2 Pro. I think it'll be a new one, and we'll do that, and then we'll do in a couple months, and we'll do one of our normal giveaways, a Cash App and/or an Amazon gift card next week. And probably right around Tuesday or Wednesday. Don't hold me to, y'all know I'm bad with planning stuff out, but I'll make sure we get a giveaway here in the next, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 days. So when I have a little bit more time, we'll do our next giveaway. So make sure you subscribe to the eSIMstudios YouTube channel. Appreciate the time. Please be safe. Enjoy your evening, and I shall see you tomorrow. Peace. All right, man. Thank you. You too.